People listening outside of Colorado, gotta love some Journey right there. Little open arms. This is Josh with K4CO Radio. I'm the president here and just kind of breaking in for a wonderful interview. If you are listening on K4CORadio.com or the K4CO radio apps or the multiple internet radio directories that we're on, do know that you can see not my beautiful face, but my guess, if you go to the K4CO Radio social media platforms, we're all over Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all the fun stuff. So if you are on there and if you do have any questions or any comments or anything like that, you can just throw them in the comments section. And our producer, Sabino, will alert me to that. And we'll try to get those answered for you. So hopefully everybody's having a good afternoon. The interview that we have today, wonderful lady interview with Marcy Lord, who is the digital marketing strategist. Is it strategist or strategist?
I like to say strategist.
Strategist. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. I need more coffee here. She is also the founder of Digital Dynamo. You can go to www.digitaldynamollc.com. We're going to be throwing up her email and phone number here on screen as well. And then for all of our audio-only listeners, we're going to be doing that as well. 720-915-1912. And you can contact her at mlord@digitaldynamollc.com. Digital Dynamo is a marketing agency that provides full-scale data-driven services like SEO, website design, content creation, paid ads, StoryBrand marketing into businesses nationwide. That's my little kind of thing about you, but I want to hear it from you in a bit.
Okay.
Marcy, for listeners and me meeting you, tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your story.
My story.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say my name is Marcy Lord. Okay. I'm the owner of Digital Dynamo. It's been operating for about 5 years now, 6 years now. And I started it after being a freelancer. And before that, I was an in-house marketing manager for a bunch of different platforms. But today, I own it. I run a team. Me personally, I've got 2 kids. I have a husband. I live in Erie. Maybe I'll get a dog soon. I'm not sure. But most of my days are consumed by marketing, digital marketing.
I'm glad you said a dog and not a cat. So good.
I like cats. I don't want to give cats a bad name because I like cats too. I don't think my husband does. So that's why I won't be getting one, but
Fair
I like
enough.
cats.
All right. Well, yeah, you started Digital Dynamo. It was just you. I mean, it was just kind of like your own thing, and now you have a full staff. So you said it's been about 6 years?
Yes, 6 years.
So you've been in-house. You've also been kind of freelance. What made you start Digital Dynamo?
So, like I said, I was freelance, right? And I guess mainly this isn't like a sexy reason to start a company, but it was for tax reasons, right?
Really?
I was freelancing, right? And I was doing really good for myself, and my accountant said, you should like make it a business. So I did, right? And then when I made it a business, I was like, well, let's make it like an actual real thing with a brand that people can feel confident working with. And so that was the real motivation. Having a company with a brand does give you more trust. Definitely. So that was like kind of the bigger overall idea.
Well, so I want to get into the brand then. First of all, why Digital Dynamo? What came up with that name?
Well, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like the alliteration. I like the DDs of it. And I just like I like the idea of having the word digital in it. I don't really like names of companies that don't kind of tell you exactly what they do. Because that's the mentality I come from. When it comes to digital marketing, when it comes to website design, don't make them think. That's what I wanted to do with the name. Don't make people think what I do, right?
Right.
So digital, that was part of it. And then Dynamo, I just like the idea of converting energy. I just like the idea of a dynamo. Like, the word dynamo is used to describe someone who gets things done. I like to think of myself like that. And so I just took the 2 words, put them together. Digital Dynamo. There you go.
I like it. I like it. So for a business owner, maybe driving in their car or watching on one of our platforms, what does Digital Dynamo do in plain English, and what do you do for your clients?
All right. So in plain English, we keep your pipeline full. If you're a business owner or you run a sales or marketing for business, we make sure that leads keep coming in. Now, how do we do that? With digital marketing tactics, full scale. So SEO, GEO, that's generative engine optimization, website design, social media management, Google Ads management, Google Analytics tagging and tracking, content, email marketing. We're doing all of that stuff, but we're pulling it into one comprehensive strategy. So it's not just this one thing here and this one thing there. It's all working together, and it's all producing as much as it can for you. It's maximizing itself.
Okay. And I want to actually kind of throw this in there now too, because I know as a business owner myself, and I interview a lot of small business owners and stuff like that. How is Digital Dynamo using AI in its work, and should business owners be worried about optimizing for it?
Okay, so this is like a double forked question that you're asking me right here.
Okay.
Because one is related to AI tools and how one would use AI tools, say me, say my company in its business. The other one is, how should business owners be thinking about how AI is affecting search results?
Right.
Okay, so let's talk about the first one. How is Digital Dynamo using AI in its business operations?
Because you do use AI as
a
tool. Yes.
Yeah. Now, you might think we're using it to produce a lot of content, like copy, web writing. We actually don't.
That's what most people think of these days, because when they go on, they just see AI content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason is because, in my heart of hearts, I'm a writer. If you read anything that was written by an AI tool, it's people are using the word slop these days, which makes sense. It is slop. But what makes it slop? Well, it's filled with cliches. It overuses adverbs and adjectives, which I hate. It's not good writing. You can read it and just go, ugh. God. It's getting all the stuff. It's getting all the information in there, but who's enjoying reading this? So we don't use AI to produce a lot of copy or content. We do use AI to help level up the tools and the technologies that we're using. So for instance, we develop websites. I have a website developer on staff. He's a website developer. He's not a software developer.
And it seems to me that a website developer would need that human aspect of it for the branding aspect.
Need that human aspect. Well, yes. Yeah. So when it comes to how he's using AI in his development and stuff, he's able to create new pieces of software. He's a web developer. He's not a software developer, but he's able to use AI to create new pieces of software that we can put onto the websites, implement on websites to create stuff that doesn't exist really. It's bespoke to the company that we're creating it for.
Okay.
So you're not paying a premium cost for it. You're able to get something that doesn't really exist anywhere else just because it came from our goals. We're thinking about, what do we really want to achieve here? And it used to be, okay, what do we really want to achieve? We have this pie in the sky idea. And then we've got to tailor it back because, the resources aren't out there. The tools aren't out there for us to do that. Now, we're kind of just able to do it. We have these pie in the sky ideas and we can make them happen through the use of AI.
So give me an example of that. You said, a type of software or something that could be utilized through the website. There's a ABC company. Give me a general idea where, something that's never been done before, we can throw this type of idea into your website.
Sure. So we were developing a landscaping website. Okay. And now if you think about a landscaping website, what's one of the biggest things that you need to have featured?
Pictures of grass.
Pictures. Beautiful picture. Okay, grass. Pictures of beautiful landscaping.
Yes.
So we want to get a really nice slider on the website that was unencumbered. It wasn't covered by text or other little elements, and it was hard to find out of the box. We couldn't just get that as an add-on to build into the website. We had to develop that ourselves. And so my website developer, he did it. Isaac, he's great. He's awesome. He did it. It's beautiful. It's bespoke to that client's website. It's something that we'll probably use again in the same code and everything that he's developed. But that's an example of something that you can't just buy.
Right.
You've got to develop it. But because of AI now, it's possible for my website developer to create new softwares.
And what types of businesses, do you work with? Is it any industry? All industries?
It does run the gamut. I will say that. So, and the reason why I'm kind of laughing is because whenever I talk to my clients, I'm like, you should niche. Niching is where it's at. That's what's going to get you the most money, the most conversion. It's going to help you rank better in search results. However, my company doesn't niche, right? Okay. And I think part of the reason for that is because I'm afraid of getting bored. I don't know. I want to have a big range of industries and companies that we work for. I will say this. We don't do a whole lot of e-commerce, okay? So it's mostly service-based businesses that we're working with. But the trades, professional services, so financial advisors, lawyers. We work with anyone that's really a service-based business.
All right. All right. So one other question. You mentioned marketing tactics. All right. What's one marketing tactic that you would recommend small business owners do right now? Because I think we're flooded with emails, with social media. You need this, you need this, you need this, you need this. What's one that you think small business owners need to do right now?
Okay, and I'll say this one. I just published an article about this on the Digital Dynamo website. And I'm also going to say this one because I think this is actually really actionable for small business owners.
Okay.
Build reviews. Now, that probably sounds kind of obvious, right? Everyone needs reviews, right? We have been seeing lately that reviews are having a much bigger impact on visibility and search rankings than they ever did before.
Right.
Not only that, but we're talking about traditional search, right? If you go into ChatGPT or something and you ask it, but I need a lawyer to help me defend myself against a dog bite. Who do you recommend? The results it's going to pull up are all going to be based on reviews that it found on Avo or Justia, these lawyer type websites. So you want to be building reviews in Google, and you want to be building reviews on other websites related to your industry.
Okay. I didn't actually know that that's what ChatGPT kind of looks for, is reviews.
It's not going to pull on Google reviews, but it depends on what the query is. But for that specific query that I just named, it's definitely going to be pulling on reviews from other sources.
Right. Gotcha. Being in-house, being a freelancer, I mean, what did some of those experiences teach you about businesses and what they need from a marketing partner? I mean, because you started your own because you knew. You knew what was missing. Yeah,
well, I guess it goes back to that thing I was saying about brand. And the reason why I started my company is like, okay, well, we need a brand. People trust a brand. So when I was in-house, these were for bigger companies, right, that I was working in-house doing marketing for. And there was already a sense of like what the brand is, who the targets are, who the ICPs are, ideal clients, right? When I started working freelance with small businesses, a lot of them didn't have any of that at all. I had no sense of what the brand should be, of who the ICPs were. They didn't have any sense of how to tailor their own presence. And that was what I felt I was really bringing to the table. Yes, there was the skill set of the SEO and the web design, but also the push to build a brand and not just platforms.
Because branding, in my mind, is a huge thing. That's what people think of. That's what people see. That's what people hear. That's your company as a whole.
I mean, you need a brand these days. People are so distrustful of things that they're seeing because of AI.
Yeah, exactly.
People do not necessarily trust what they're seeing in search results because who knows where it came from, right? And there's, look, I could go into it, but it's easy to manipulate AI. It really is. People are just publishing, for example, they're publishing the best of lists, right? A software company will publish a best software for this list, right?
Right.
They rank themselves at the top. Now, if you went to a website to read that list and you saw that company was ranking themselves as the top software, wouldn't you kind of go, that's kind of, I don't know if I trust that.
It's the oldest trick in the book. It's the cigarette company is saying they're healthy. Or
exactly.
They're not bad for you.
Exactly. But AI will pick up on those pages, will pick up on that content and say, company so-and-so is the best type of software for this type of thing that you need. It's really, you can manipulate it if you want to. But people notice that. People are not stupid.
Right.
So they see that and they go, well, I got to do my due diligence on this. That's where your brand comes into play.
Okay.
If you have a brand out there that people are trusting, you're going to be much more likely to convert then.
So I'm Joe Nye, the improv guy. I'm going to pick on him because it's fun to pick on Joe.
Okay.
And so I have a brand, the improv guy. All right. I come to you and I have no idea how to build this brand. Okay. What would our conversation look like? Our first conversation.
Okay. I want this to not be boring, what I say now, but it basically starts out with what are your goals, right? You know, do you have a revenue goal? Do you want to work with just a certain type of person or people? Do you want to be working in certain settings? Ultimately, it starts with what your goals are.
Because people think brand, I think if they're not really in the small business world, they think, okay, your logo. There's your brand.
Okay. Yeah, but it's so much more than that.
So much more than that.
Yeah. Yep. Of course. I could keep going. Tell me to stop if you want me to.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I'll cut you off.
I mean, your brand, like you were saying, it's your logo, it's your colors, typography. But then your brand is also the value you deliver. and who you deliver it for.
Gotcha. All right. Another thing that kind of comes up a lot these days, you know, I mean, we're just so inundated with you need this, you need this, you need this. This is probably depends on the business, but how much, you know, I'm a business owner, how much should I be spending on marketing? And what's a reasonable expectation for the return from digital marketing? And I ask this because, you know, I talk with a lot of small business owners. There's many different advertising methods you can do. You can do Google advertising, you can do meta advertising, you can do all this stuff. And the feedback I get is not completely trustful.
Okay.
You know, on it, where it's just like, you know, it says this is happening. It says this many people are doing, but I'm not seeing anything.
All right. Well, that.
And I'm spending this amount of money. So I know it's an open-ended question, but I'm curious when it comes to that.
So what you just started outlining is, I mean, I could probably speak for an hour about that pain that you're describing there, where you're seeing certain metrics come in. I'm getting this many conversions, this much traffic, but no one's calling me. I'm not hearing the phones ring, right? But let's go back to like how much people should spend, how much businesses should spend when it comes to their marketing. All right, so there is no straightforward answer on this. It could be that you're doing just fine without any marketing. It's all about revenue goals, right? And if you're meeting your revenue targets, but you're not doing any marketing, screw it. You don't need marketing, right? I wouldn't say completely throw it out the door. You never know. You might need to pivot at some point, but the market can change.
Some businesses can survive like that, right? A lot of word of mouth, too.
Yes, exactly. There are some businesses out there that spend upwards of 35% of their gross revenue on marketing. It makes sense for them. It's about their goals, right? I will say this. It's not a simple answer, but if you can keep yourself that 10 to 15% range, that's about the benchmark. Okay. That's what we see our companies that we're working with spending when it comes to their marketing.
10 to 15%.
Yeah. Now, if you're trying to get more granular and figure out like, oh, how much should I be spending for Google ads? How much should I be spending for meta ads? I will just say this. It depends on the industry, but we do not typically see much of a return for Google ads unless you're spending $2,000 to $2,500 a month on just the investment alone.
Okay? Oh, okay. Wow.
So, and I'm just going to say this right now. If you're spending like $500 a month, or if you think you could just spend $500 a month on Google ads, you are more than likely just going to throw your money away. I'm not going to say that's a blanket true statement for every company out there. I'm just going to say it because I want you to think about that. If you're right now pondering investing in Google ads, you're like, well, I have $500 extra a month that I could just invest.
Right.
It might not be worth it. Okay.
Why do you believe that to not be so?
Because it's gotten very saturated. Just the use of Google ads has gotten very saturated these days. That was, I don't want to get too technical here, but that was why something called PMax, Performance Max, came out. Because a lot of people started coming in and using Google ads, but they didn't know what to do, right?
Yep.
And so Google said, well, here, we're going to give you this solution where you just give us money. We'll just spend it as we see fit. You don't need to worry about customizing anything, tailoring anything, adjusting anything. We'll take care of it. We'll fix it. We'll get you the conversions coming in. And so that's why we now have Performance Max, right?
Right.
But the reason why I do not recommend spending less than $500 is because it's so saturated right now.
So saturated, just like almost anything out there right now online. So when it comes to you, I mean, what type of stuff, if let's say there's a lot of small business, I mean, 98% of Colorado is small business. A lot of that is just people that can't afford, you know, $5,000 a month for marketing and stuff like that, especially when it comes to digital.
Yeah.
You're Digital Dynamo. So, I mean, what types of options are out there as opposed to these Google advertising, as opposed to meta type stuff?
Okay. So I do think building reviews could be one of those very low cost but high return tactics you could take.
But you said that's the number one thing that people should be focused on right
Yes.
now. Okay.
Yes. And so, I mean, to expand on that, you can do that for very little money. You have to be on top of it. You need to be texting people after they get it. Let's say you're like do a trade service, right? If people aren't getting a text message from you to leave a review, then you're leaving an opportunity for yourself on the table. Okay.
Right.
So building reviews can be a way that is fairly cheap, in my opinion, to build up some sort of marketing authority. Okay, some sort of local marketing authority for yourself.
Gotcha. I like that actually. And yeah, I've used a lot of services where it is amazing nowadays where, yeah, I get a text message right after the service was done. I just had to get rid of a lot of junk. So I used one of those junk companies. Big shout out actually, J-Dog Junk Removal, but got a text message right away. And they did such a great job where it was in my hand. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it real quick. And I'm sure that was not expensive for him.
No, I mean, you can set that up pretty cheaply, but you could also... All right, let's say you're hearing this right now and you're like, I haven't been asking people for reviews. What am I going to do? Look, you can go back to those customers that you had a year ago, 2 years ago, and say, hey, would you mind leaving me a review? One thing I would recommend doing, send people the link directly to leave you a review. So if you go into your Google business profile, there's a link that you can grab. You copy it. You send it to the person. It's going to take them right to the spot on Google where they can start leaving a review for you.
Gotcha. Yeah. And you said it doesn't really matter where the review is. I mean, you just as long as there's a review out there, what are some of the most common ones?
So I would say prioritize Google.
Okay.
Prioritize that as where the review should be left. If you're going to ask anyone to leave a review anywhere, leave it on Google. However, think about what your industry is. You know, like the example of the lawyers. Ask people to also leave reviews on avo.com, on Justia, on lawyer.com. Facebook is also another important place too. You know, when I never really think about Facebook when it comes to where people should leave me a review.
Not really, me either, yeah.
Facebook reviews are getting pulled into Google business profiles now.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So try to spread the love around if you can. It can be a tall ask to ask someone, first off, will you leave me a review? And then will you also leave that review on Facebook too?
On this particular platform?
Yeah. If you have someone that really loves you and you did awesome work for, see if you can get them to leave a review in 2 places.
Yeah. All right. That's good advice out there. For all of our listeners, once again, we're listening to Marcy Lord. She's the digital marketing strategist and owner of Digital Dynamo. You can go to digitaldynamo.llc.com. Email I want to throw out there too, mlord@digitaldynamo.llc.com. You can reach Digital Dynamo at 720-915-1912. One thing that is very prevalent today is, I mean, you said we're so saturated with everything. You've talked about seeing small businesses get burned by agencies, especially offshore work. What are some of the problems with Digital Dynamo that you wanted to solve when it comes to that?
So one of the biggest things, and we still encounter this to this day, but one of the biggest things that I kept seeing happen when I first started the business was I'd get a new client and I'd say, okay, I need access to your website and these other resources. And they go, well, we don't have that. I'd be like, oh, you don't have that? Why not? Well, the other agency has full control over that. So then you have to go and, I'm like knocking things over. You have to go and get that access from the other agency. Now, what do you think happens when that other agency finds out
you're trying to get access?
What do you think happens? They don't want to help you out, so they hold this stuff hostage. And especially if it's an offshore company or freelancer or whatever, they don't care.
Right.
They don't have a reputation they need to worry about over here in the States, so they really are just not going to help you out whatsoever. So one of the biggest things that we wanted to work on when we were with Digital Dynamo was making sure that our clients, we took a campsite approach to it. And by that, I mean, if you go to a campsite, you want to leave it as you found it, if not better, right? So
everyone in Colorado knows that.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. So we get our clients, right, and we're setting them up to have full access of all of their collateral, their website, their hosting, their DNS, everything. And they have all that information in one set spot. They know how to access it. So if anything were to happen, maybe they don't want to work with us anymore. They know exactly where all their stuff is. And it just gives them peace of mind, too.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I definitely know, I mean, one of my biggest things that I mention all the time, because I interview a lot of small businesses where they want contact, where with these big companies, it's like, email us. We'll get back to you in a couple days. Something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas companies like yourself and many that I've interviewed, is just like, you have our phone number, you have our direct email, you can call us, you can contact, we'll get right back to you.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I wanted to mention, a big theme for Digital Dynamo when I was looking into it is transparency and not hiding who's actually doing the work.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times today, these companies can really hide and you don't even know who's doing the work. You just pay them and they say, we got it.
Yeah.
So with that transparency, how does Digital Dynamo kind of create that transparency with our clients?
Yeah. So the model you're describing is you hire an agency, get an account manager. You meet with the account manager usually, but you ask them a question and they go, we don't know. We'll get back to you on that. You're not getting actual answers because the person that you're speaking to isn't doing the work. They've got to go to the offshore team and ask them why they did what they did. Then they get back to you 2 days later. And it's frustrating.
Right.
For Digital Dynamo, I mean, you get direct access to all of my employees who are all like W-2 or stateside contract employees.
What do you mean you get direct access?
So I'm giving you their email addresses.
Okay.
You're interfacing with them. We're not just meeting with me or just the project manager. You're meeting with the entire team that's working on your project. You're seeing them face to face. Like I said, you're getting their contact information. So there's full transparency in that. I'm not hiding anyone from you. No one's hiding anything from anyone. If you need to get into contact with someone.
Gotcha. We kind of talked about, what's some of the things that small business owners just must do. And we mentioned reviews. I'm curious if you've noticed something that small business owners do that probably should not do.
Small business, okay.
Throwing you on the spot right there.
I mean, the whole idea of not having access to your own website and Facebook and Instagram, not having access or knowing how to get into those platforms, that's probably the biggest error that I see them commit. Because
it's a lot of trust, first of all.
It's a lot of trust. It really slows down the process on everything. It feels a little just negligent.
Okay.
And I get it. If I didn't work in this world, I might not see the importance of it either. But in my opinion, that one of the biggest mistakes that small business owners can make is just trusting that whoever set them up is going to always be cool. Is always going to be there. Because I'll tell you what, people have egos. People die. What if your web developer dies? Like, you can't get in there.
Companies go out of business.
Yeah, people get bored. Things happen. And it's going to cause such a huge headache if you don't have your own access.
That makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
Right there. Once again, everybody go to digitaldynamo.llc.com, kind of see what they do. And it's a whole list of things. And one thing is I take it a lot of businesses are not the same. Especially not only the size, but what they need, what they require for when it comes to branding. What sets businesses apart from, other than size, as to what they truly need that you guys look at?
Well, it all comes down to the ICPs, the ideal client profile. Okay. And what does that mean? Okay. Who are you trying to target? Who are you trying to bring in? You don't want just anyone.
Who's your audience?
Yeah. And you want to bring in qualified leads, not
Which is another thing for, I would think Google ads, meta ads, stuff like that. It's just kind of throwing it out there. Whoever. Age, this area, here you go. It's not directed, I would say.
Well, okay. That's a different thing. So when it comes to meta and the ads that are being pumped out, the idea now is that you want to create as much types of different content as you can. And then Meta's AI is going to deliver that content that they think is going to best resonate with that user. So there is some targeting going on. So I don't want you to think it's just like a spray and pray type of
No
situation. Yeah. But what was the original question? I feel like we were talking about something that I was about to get on a rant about. Oh, ICPs and how can different businesses need certain things? So right now there's a big move towards social media, right?
Yep.
And you might be like, well, social media's been around for a long time. Well, in marketing, for us, social media was just kind of like an add-on for a long time. We were always mainly focused on search, organic search, paid search, websites. That was like the main thing because our clients were doing gangbusters just from organic search, right? And paid search.
Right.
Well, then AI kind of threw a monkey wrench in everything. It made it so that our clients that were doing gangbusters on just organic search alone started to see their traffic go down and their conversions go down because people were less inclined to click through the website. Okay, well, what were we going to do about it? This is where the move to socials came in. Now, the whole reason for the move to socials wasn't necessarily to gin up a lot of leads from socials. It was about building brand trust, because with the advent of AI, it's also creating more distrust.
Right.
That's why you want to build that brand trust, and your socials can really do that. So that's one way that we're looking at companies who don't have any kind of like social presence, and we're saying, okay, we need to get out there. We need to get your face. We need to show people the actual experts doing the work.
Right. Yeah. It's funny how there's a few companies, that I've talked to, that I've interviewed and stuff like that, where it's just like they're nowhere on the social media platform.
I mean, some people have a moral, they're morally against it.
Right. Right. But in my mind, especially today, like you said, it's becoming like you have to.
Yes.
It is imperative.
And there's probably a ton of people out there groaning. Oh, are you kidding me? And look, I'm kind of like that too. I think the only reason I'm on social media is because of the work that I do. I get it. Facebook can be annoying. They can all be annoying. You have to be out there.
Right. Exactly. On the website, for everybody, all of our audio listeners, digitaldynamo.llc.com. If you're watching, of course, this is going on the bottom. If you scroll down, there's a lot of different things that you guys work on, from SEO, website design, GEO, and LLMO. I don't even know what that is.
So GEO is generative engine optimization. LLMO is large language model optimization. And that basically just stands for optimizing your website so you're being shown in AI-driven search results.
In AI-driven search results.
Yeah, so that if we're talking about that specifically, we could be talking about ChatGPT, or if any other kind of like Perplexity or something. Yeah,
10 of them plus. Yeah,
or in Google. So like Google's AI mode or AI overviews, that type of AI-driven search.
Okay, gotcha. Content creation, we all kind of know exactly what that is. I want to focus kind of on StoryBrand marketing. StoryBrand, that I have never heard that before. That's a Digital Dynamo term. StoryBrand.
Well, it's not. I don't want to take credit for it.
Oh, okay. All right. I haven't heard it before. That's why I thought.
All right. So StoryBrand is a marketing framework that uses story to sell. Okay. It was created by Donald Miller, and the idea is, so think about some of like the coolest movies that are out there, right? The Matrix, Star Wars. I like to use this example of The Silence of the Lambs. There is a hero that has a problem, who meets a guide with a plan that helps him find success and avoid failure. That's the StoryBrand framework. So, who would you think is the hero if you're a business?
Oh, is it the wise person that directs, or is it the person that takes the advice?
Who do you think? Is it you? Are you the hero? Or is your customer the hero? Your customer is the hero. I'll just tell you right now. It's your customer that's the hero.
I've never thought about it that way.
So when you're writing for a website, you want your customer to feel like they're the hero. They're coming to you. They have the problem. They're Luke. Right. They're Luke with the problem, right? Who's the guide in this Luke?
Yoda.
Yes.
Of course.
There we go. You're Yoda. And you've got the plan that's going to help him find success and avoid utter failure.
Everybody needs a little green man.
Exactly. Definitely. Exactly.
All right. StoryBrand marketing right there.
So, and the reason why, it's just like a better way of writing, but it does pull people into your funnel more. It's building more trust, and it's helping with AI too, because AI is looking at story. It's looking at you talking about yourself on your website in a lot of different ways. Okay. And how you help people. Okay. And if you can get a really great succinct story on your website about the value that you offer, I told you AI is kind of stupid in some ways. It will just pull that directly into its search results and deliver that to the user.
And so you're saying that misinformation, when it's not a direct story,
if you want to avoid misinformation happening in AI-driven search results, because AI can also find some stupid thing that someone said on another website somewhere that's totally untrue, and take that as truth. So you want to make sure your truth, which you can get out there with the StoryBrand framework, is on your website with a higher chance that truth will be pulled into AI search results.
I like it. One other thing I did want to mention, so SEO, that those letters have been thrown around a lot throughout the many years with a lot of different views and beliefs on it. With the saturation out there that you said, I mean, we're just saturated with everything, drowning and everything. Even, with ads, meta ads, all this stuff. SEO, is that a saturated market? And how should SEO work?
All right. So I think so. The question would be like, should you even attempt SEO?
Right. And I want you to define it, SEO, in your words, and then answer that question.
Okay. So SEO literally stands for search engine optimization, but it's kind of an amalgam now because now you've got SEO, GEO, LLMO. And people are starting to call it everywhere optimization or all AEO, all engine optimization.
They're rebranding.
Yes, exactly. No one has really settled on a name yet for what we're calling this new type of optimization, but SEO is really still optimizing for Google search results, Bing search results, and even AI-driven search results. Okay. Now, should you do it? Well, the thing about SEO is it kind of comes naturally if you're creating a great website. All right. So you want a great website. You want great content. You want to showcase your value. If you do that, you're going to show up in search results. If you're building reviews, you're going to show up in search results. Now, yes, you do have to take that extra bit of effort to create your Google business profile. It's not just going to all come naturally.
Right.
So I don't want to make it sound like, oh, it's just passive, right? It's not totally passive. But if you're doing all the things you should be doing anyways to create great online content, I mean, SEO is just automatically going to happen.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, and I really like that you said that too, because I think a lot of times people just expect, kind of like a magic wand type thing. And I've even heard some people kind of sell it that way. It's just like, I remember talking to somebody, a few years ago where it's just like, you just give us about a month.
A month?
And you'll be showing up at the top.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they were selling crocodile underpants or something like that. That's very
those
very
would be
niche,
itchy,
right?
but
Yes.
I'll try anything twice.
Yeah, the very niche. No competition out there. Yeah, they'd probably rank. Yeah.
Right. But if you're in an industry that's even already there's some saturation in it, I mean, it would take a long time, I would say. But you have to do your part.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it does not necessarily a long time. If you are, look, the other thing I will say that business owners, like the one thing you should be doing is creating authentic content. Now, authenticity does kind of go hand in hand with building reviews, right? And showcasing how you've helped real people, right? But if you are creating authentic content that's really, it's not trying to pull wool over people's eyes, it's showing the real experts, it's trying to deliver value. Not just like promote yourself, not just say how cool you are, but trying to help people. That's going to be one of the best things that you can do.
I'm glad you said that, because that actually brought up another question that has been mentioned recently. I was talking with a small business owner who was questioning whether or not in their content on social media and stuff like that, they should be putting in personal stuff instead of just all business right there. And we were talking with a couple other people where one business said, no, you want to be more human. You want to show your human side, your personal side, stuff like that. It'll help build that trust. And then another person said, you keep your personal side on your personal Facebook, your personal Instagram, and your business be your business.
Okay.
So I'm curious what you think about that.
Okay. So I think there's a middle ground that you want to do that right there. Now, I don't know. Look, you certainly want to keep things on your personal, if it's like you're doing like weird stuff after hours, right? We don't need to see your furry convention that you're going to and everything. But what a good way to, yes, I do agree there needs to be some sort of personal, because that's a little bit more interesting with that human element, right?
Right.
However, you don't necessarily want to be showcasing your family all the time, right? So what's personal? What's something personal that you might want to showcase on your business profiles? Like any kind of volunteering that you're doing for a cause that you're passionate about.
Right.
Okay. That could be something that you do showcase on your business profiles. And yes, some might say it's contrived or opportunistic. I actually think it's a good thing to do. It's showcasing the human element. It's helping promote a good cause, and it's just highlighting something that you personally like to do.
And I've always, I agree with that, because I've always kind of said that people do business with people, not necessarily with a company. So because they like people, they trust people, that's who they do business with.
That's another, I'll go off of that a little bit. So if you're out there putting out content, don't put it under like the company's name. Let's say you write a blog post on your website. Don't just say, oh, the McCoy law firm wrote this. You want to have an actual lawyer, an actual expert attached to that article that was written.
Gotcha. 2026. It's already only been a couple years that we know of with the AI and how it's already exploded and everything like that. Where do you see marketing and advertising, everything that you do, where do you see it going in the future? The changes that are going in the future, years down the road. I had to throw that in there because it's a fun one.
That's a really hard question, because I feel like as a digital marketer, as an SEO, we will get to this point where we're like, we know exactly how to do things. And then... But
that's the fun thing about a job like yours, sorry to interrupt, is that things change.
Yeah.
It's always evolving.
So I will say this. I think AI search will start to get better. I think right now search results are a mess. Search results are a mess.
Okay, yes.
I don't like using Google anymore. I think 3 years ago it was great. Then the advent of AI totally messed things up.
Right.
All right. I do think Google will get better at it. It is starting to already get a little bit better at it. But I think people are going to keep and start doing more gravitating to trusting people, trusting actual people that they know when it comes to, let me rephrase this. Trusting what they believe is an actual recommendation from a real person. Okay. Now, that can be achieved in digital marketing, using digital marketing. It can be achieved through social media. It can be achieved by getting some more visibility on Reddit. I think people are going to be less inclined to just automatically pick the first person that pops up on their Google search results.
Right.
They're going to start doing, and they're already doing it, but I think it's going to increase. Start doing more due diligence until they find something or someone that they trust, some reason to trust a company, and then they'll go with them.
So you think it'll actually kind of go back more towards the personal connection relationship?
I think, yeah.
Which I love, because we're all about that. I mean, we do a lot of work in the chamber work. We love talking to people about their businesses and not bringing that human element.
Yeah. Now, do I think digital marketing is going away? No, I don't at all.
Never,
I think people are going to find that personal connection through online channels.
Right.
Okay. I just don't think you can rely on showing up #1 in search results and bringing in all the traffic and all the conversions anymore.
Right.
People are really, they're doing their research on it. They're relying on reviews. They're relying on other people saying, yeah, trust them. This person's good.
And people are even doing their research with reviews, because it's hilarious to me. You know, you go on a site, I'll take Amazon, for example, and you read a review. It's like, that review had absolutely nothing to do with the product.
Yep.
So why is this review even here?
Yep.
It's just very blind shouting.
Yeah.
Looking back from where you are today, I mean, you started this a while ago from a one-person operation to now you have a whole staff. What are you most proud of right now in Digital Dynamo's journey so far? What's a story that says, this is why I am doing this?
So when it comes to our operations side, I'm most proud of the fact that my employees get things like PTO and healthcare and dental benefits and 401k matching, and they're getting an actual like great treatment from, at least I think so. I don't know, maybe talk to them, but they're getting ostensibly like a great treatment from their career experience, right?
Right.
When it comes to what we have achieved and that I'm most proud of that we've delivered for our clients, so I have one client he was with me when I was a freelancer. That's when he like started working with
So
with
a long
me.
time.
Yeah, a long time, like 6 years now or something.
Mm-hmm.
It started out, it was just him. It was just me. We've both scaled our businesses, and Digital Dynamo has been integral in helping him scale his business from just beyond him to multiple employees, way more clients. Like he's be able to compete with the big guys in his industry now, and it's in part because of our work with his marketing.
I bet that is probably one of the greatest things in your industry is you do get to see these businesses grow and know that you had a little bit of part of that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take credit for anything, but it does make me feel good to go, okay, we might screw up sometimes, but man, we're doing some good things. We're doing some things right.
Nice. I love it. Anything else I wanted to say, for all the audio people out there, we're sitting down with Marcy Lord. She's digital marketing strategist and owner of Digital Dynamo, digitaldynamo.llc.com. You can email mlord@digitaldynamo.llc.com, 720-915-1912. Anything else really before we sign off? Because, I think a lot of times, especially like we've discussed in the saturated market, people get emails all the time. People get, flooded with, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this. Anything else you want to say? And I want to ask on your website, it says sign up for a consultant, just a talk, a consultation. How do people do that? The easiest way to do that, what's involved, and then anything else you want to do.
Sure. So the easiest way to do that would be to go to the website, go to the contact page, and you can automatically book a 30-minute free consultation with me through the website. Okay. So you could also call, talk to me directly, get something on the schedule. Email me at the email that you said, the mlord@digitaldynamo.llc.com. You can follow us on socials, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. That's some of the ways that you can connect with us, right? When it comes to what I will leave you with, so I know there's a lot of business owners out there, like we've been saying, highly confused, don't know where to put their money, don't know what's worth it, what's not worth it. I will just say this. Just rely on authenticity. And I know that might sound vague, but don't get seduced into doing any kind of weird promotional stuff. Don't devalue your stuff by offering like 20, 30, 50% discounts just to like get people in the door. Just offer authentic help to people. Be your authentic self. That's going to have the biggest payout.
I love that. And it's building relationships. Yeah. Right there. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Check it out, digitaldynamo.llc.com. I mean, any type of small business, all the way up to medium-sized business. Colorado, that's all we're filled with, is 98% small businesses. So there's always something that you can do. But number one is be authentic. I really like that right there. That is what is going to make people know you, trust you, like you, and tell other people about you. Thanks again for coming in. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Everybody stay tuned. We have the afternoon mix of music coming up for you. Some nice rockin' stuff for your afternoon. And then, of course, 7 p.m., one solid hour every single day at 7 p.m. We're one solid hour of only Colorado musicians in the K4CO radio rotation. And then an all-new episode of Kind of Vague Radio tonight at 9 p.m. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day. You'll be hearing from us soon.